Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And I got to start with this from the Crypto Basic. Here's why stablecoins cannot make XRP obsolete in cross-border payments. Now, right now, there's a lot of people in the crypto space saying that stablecoins are stealing XRP's thunder, meaning XRP is not needed when it comes to cross-border payments. But David Schwartz already debunked this multiple times. Every stablecoin is going to need a bridge currency because other countries are not going to accept the digital dollar. Other countries are not going to accept the digital euro, and so on. And not only that, I look at these stable coins, they're all the hype right now. And it's because they're pushing that whole digital asset narrative. But I look at stable coins as a gateway to crypto. In other words, right now you get the banks and everybody else used to using stable coins. Later, they start utilizing cryptocurrencies instead, because we all know XRP provides on-demand liquidity. It's also faster and cheaper than utilizing RLUSD as well. But even when it comes to moving stablecoins, XRP is going to play a role because it works as a trust layer. It can move anything of value. Blackrock's head of crypto, Robbie Mitchnick, knows. Now, take a listen to this. When Robbie Mitchnick starts talking about Bitcoin being digital gold, was he just not talking about XRP? Take a listen.
Well, I think my advice is more for the people coming in how they approach the space. I think it's very important to be discerning and to be very particular about which assets one is going to hold, right? There's a reason Bitcoin is still roughly 65% of the market cap of the space, because it has very clear product market fit and investor narrative and a big addressable market as this digital gold-like asset. There's a reason there's consolidation in a lot of the rest of the market cap in a few top assets, which is those are the handful that have really proven themselves and developed some degree of product market fit and economic utility. One has to be very wary going far down the table. There's hundreds of thousands of crypto assets out there today. The vast majority of those are or will be totally worthless. And so investors have to be careful around that. And they also, I think, should be wary around trading on a short-term basis. Certainly, short-term levered basis is a tough game a lot of times in the crypto space. And I think the people who've done the best in this space have taken a much more long-term fundamental view and understood that you have to be patient and you have to understand that there's volatility in the space and there will be cycles.
He addressed a few different things in that clip. Number one, don't trade XRP. You buy it, you lock it away, and you just wait for it to happen. That breakout is absolutely coming. But he talked about digital gold and Bitcoin. And Robbie Mitchnick used to work at Ripple. So, and BlackRock, they could never talk about XRP. They'll never mention it. You ever take notice to that? So this comes from smoke. Remember, XRP is the real digital gold for banks. Former Ripple CTO Stephen Thomas, banks will have gold that you can teleport into any vault in the world instantly using XRP. 2013 XRP marketing brochure describes XRP like gold in your hands, designed to be the most liquid token on the ledger. Documented title, Teleporting Gold, explains how XRP solves bank liquidity under Basel III and reveals Ripple's big idea that banks will use XRP when liquidity is high enough. So Robbie Mitchnick most likely knew all of this back at his days at Ripple. Why do they always push the Bitcoin narrative? He also said in that clip that most of the cryptocurrencies out there are going near zero or to zero. Same thing that Brad Garlinghouse said. 99% of crypto will disappear. Lehman Baird from Hedera said the same thing. And even Brad said regulations might look like a black swan because of that. But BlackRock could never mention XRP. You know there's an NDA between BlackRock and Ripple. Latest XRP escrow move sparks speculation. So first of all, they're talking about 4 million XRP unlocked from escrow at unknown wallet. So they're saying that it's an escrow unlock in the middle of the month. But Ripple was not involved. The latest transactions had nothing to do with Ripple, as explained by XRP Ledger Sleuth, which tracks notable transfers on the network. The tokens were locked and then unlocked at Flare Core Vault. The Flare network is a blockchain project that integrates with XRP and other assets to enable smart contracts. Core Vault is a key component of the F asset system on Flare. Its purpose is to act as a liquidity hub for non-smart contract assets, initially XRP, that are being brought into DeFi via Flare. It holds underlying assets such as XRP deposited by so-called agents so that these assets can back the minting of F assets. So it looks like this could be going for the minting of more FXRP. So it was not a Ripple unlock, because I seen some FUD around this as well. Look at, there goes Ripple once again dumping on the XRP community. You know, people just aren't going to understand what that escrow is actually going to be utilized for. It's to bring more utility to XRP. Tradeship University founder says he sold his McLaren to buy more. So Cameron Scrubs, he says, sold my McLaren today for more XRP. I've had it for well over a year and would much rather have the equivalent in XRP. I will print a free McLaren by the time we hit all-time highs. Do you see my simple math? You've seen people do this in the past. And every time it looks like crypto's about to break out, you ever take notice the Lambo dealerships and the Ferrari dealerships right away? They want to accept Bitcoin and XRP and Ethereum. But we've seen other people do this in the past multiple times. But this time around, it looks like they're going all in on XRP. I'm telling you, that it has the best return on investment in this space. And it is going to shock so many people. I'm telling you, people's faces are going to melt in this run. You're going to see grown men weep looking at their portfolios in this cycle. 5-spot XRP ETFs from CoinShares, Franklin Templeton, 21 shares, Canary Capital, and Bitwise have just appeared on the DTCC list. So it looks like those ETFs are definitely going to go live by the end of this month. I cannot wait to see what XRP looks like going into December. I think we are about to enter the exciting times together. And I've been waiting for this for such a long period of time. You know, I started this channel in the bear market when nobody wanted to hear about crypto. FTX crash was happening around that same time. And it was all about getting to this point where we are right now, waiting for what is about to happen next. And even CEO Steve McClurg at Canary Capital on the XRP ETF. Take a listen.
When you look at the flow that we've seen with Solana, the BSOL, Bitwise did a great job getting that one out on the ground. And absolutely crazy numbers. One of the best performing ETFs that we've seen so far, especially in digital assets. How do you think these XRP ETFs will perform against that?
Yeah, I actually think that XRP will probably double what Solana did in its
Wow.
first week and even today, as far as volume and as far as total AUM. If you just even look at the market caps of the two tokens, XRP is about 50% higher than Solana.
Yeah.
But the difference is, and we experienced this with HBAR last week or 2 weeks ago now, the HBAR ETF experienced $70 million in inflows just in the first 3 days. And it's because it's really well known among institutional circles
Exactly.
and enterprise investors.
Yeah.
So even though it's not a big retail product, it doesn't have a ton of volume, it's got the right kind of interest. And that's how XRP is. Solana is probably a little bit more of a retail token. XRP is much more of a financial services, enterprise, institutional token. And when you put that into an ETF, even though it's only 50% more market cap, it'll probably be 100% or 200% more inflows because of the institutional.
Wow.
The institutional money is coming for XRP. So he's expecting it to not only outperform the Solana ETF, but double what the inflows were on the Solana ETF. And they know the demand is there. That institutional money, it's massive. It's not like retail buying XRP. That's why this is going to be game changing. News: Scott Bessent announced that the U.S. Treasury and IRS have issued new guidance today, granting crypto exchange traded products, ETPs, a clear path to stake digital assets and distribute staking rewards to retail investors. That's big as well. So it looks like they're already getting ready, not only the Treasury, but the IRS as well, when it comes to ETPs and staking. It's all going to be about staking going forward. We didn't have those options back in 2022 and 2023 when crypto looked like it was totally going to flatline back then. XRP went sideways for such a long period of time. It would have been great to stake your XRP back then, earn more XRP back then. But at least it's happening sooner than later. Global banking systems face a November 22nd deadline to migrate to the ISO 222 financial messaging standard, ending years of delays. I've seen a lot of people say that this is only going to get delayed again. It's not going to get delayed any longer. This is going live on November 22nd. That is now the deadline to migrate. And take notice, in this article, they say ISO 222 friendly cryptos like XRP, XLM, HBAR, IOTA, Algo, QNT, and XDC stand to benefit as digital assets integrate with traditional finance. ISO is going to be a bigger deal than people think. And we're about to see how that's going to affect the price of these cryptocurrencies as well. That also happens by the end of this month. No more delays. This comes from Eleanor Tourette. Former U.S. Senate candidate Johnny Deaton has announced he's running to unseat Senator Markey in next year's midterm elections. Markey, 79, has served in Congress for more than 5 decades, first in the House and now as Massachusetts' junior senator. Deaton, a pro-crypto lawyer, ran against Senator Warren in 2024 and lost by about 19% of the vote. He told me he believes the race against Markey will be different. Markey is considered anti-crypto, having voted against the passage of the Genius Act and other pro-crypto initiatives in Congress. Let's hope Johnny Deaton wins this time around. But I definitely thought that was worth a mention. He's been trying to get in Washington because he's also pro-crypto. Remember all the things he done for the XRP community during the Ripple versus SEC case? That's who Johnny Deaton is, if you didn't know who he was up to this point. But I would love to see him win in the midterms. But like I said, big things are about to happen for XRP. And I can't wait to see how it looks going into the end of November. I'm telling you, I think we're going to be looking at a much different XRP very soon. And until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.